Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to the top 10 cheat codes to achieve a quantum leap in your business as a professional. Number 6 today, new eyes have the best vision. Hopefully, you're enjoying the vision of the snow behind me today. Anyways, real quick, this is going to be a short one. I want to talk about this. But before I do, uh, because it's Tuesday, I want to let you know that it's 2 for Tuesday, which means that if you stick around in another 15 minutes from now, I'm going to do yet another live stream, and it's going to be another of the top 10. And I will not spoil the fun on that one, but that's going to be a good one. And people often ask about how to manufacture time. So you'll definitely want to tune in for that one. But anyway, so new eyes have the best vision. This comes into play and into significance in a lot of different ways when it comes to being a professional and or owning a business. And so a lot of times I'll be working with a company, or in the past I've worked with professionals, and they almost demand having an expert from within inside their industry. Well, the interesting thing about that is that there is some value to having experts from within inside of an industry because they know how an industry operates and stuff like that. But if you have someone who has great expertise that's across a wide variety of industries, that's where the rubber meets the road. And here's why. Someone who can take their expertise and pull from various industries that they have helped and put that towards your industry can bring in unique, novel, and new ideas mashed up in very creative ways to help you with your business. And there is some agreement that a lot of ideas are just repackaged from previous iterations, and that there's not a lot of change inside of an industry. So forward thinkers will go outside their industry to look for ways to change. And I kind of alluded to that in some of the previous videos that are in the series. And so I would encourage you that if you're trying to solve a problem professionally, try to find a way to solve it with potentially putting eyes on other industries. I talked about that with social media strategy. Also, if you're trying to innovate a product or a service or something like that, there's great ways to look outside your industry. Now, with that said, I talked about that there's multiple applications here. Well, I want you to think about it from a hiring standpoint. When someone comes into your organization after you've hired them, generally for the first, let's say 3 up to 6 months, they have really fresh eyes. They are learning your processes. They're learning your procedures. They have not seen the internal workings of your organization before. So things are going to appear very poignant to them. And it's not going to be something where their situational awareness goes down because of the fact that they've been coming to work every day for 10 years, 20 years. And there's value in that for people that stick with an organization for a long time. But a lot of times, even the simplest things are overlooked because of the fact that someone's been in an organization for so long that they don't see the simple things anymore. And so I've talked about this before, and I'll talk about it in one of the future videos of the top 10, but it's simple things compounded over time that create either really successful businesses or lead to a business's downfall. It's the little things compounding over time that can bankrupt a business too. But with those new people that you have inside your organization, encourage them to use those new eyes to their advantage and ultimately to the advantage of the organization. Encourage them to bring things forward. Encourage them to say, hey, have we thought about doing this a different way? What has been used to address this before? And some of those things that are overlooked and have been for quite a long time will become immediately apparent because there's new eyes on it. So I'm going to keep this one short, and hopefully you take that and apply it to your business. I would encourage you in any way that you can to put new eyes on your business. And I will give you a parting example of new eyes on a business. So Blockbuster obviously is on the struggle bus these days. At my last check, there were 2 Blockbusters left in the world, one in Oregon and one in Australia. This comes from a company that just could do no wrong through the 90s, and they just had so many stores across states and obviously countries, because they had even one in Australia. But unfortunately, their business model did not adapt with the times. And so they were constantly levying late fees on people who were bringing videos back. And that was a business strategy, and it worked for them for a period of time. So there was a guy who loved going to the gym and really hated late fees. And so he got, I think, a $50 late fee from Blockbuster, and it really ticked him off. And so he said, I can't stand this. I'm going to do something about it. And so he created a little fledgling company that was called Netflix. And so what he did is he took the idea of a video rental store and partnered it up with the membership concept of a gym and created a membership video rental service known as Netflix. And so he basically had new eyes, thought about the video industry, which had a very specific model for a long time of how you rent videos. And if you don't return them on time, that you get late fees. And he just said, enough is enough. We're going to take a gym membership and we're going to mash this up and create something completely different. And that little fledgling company, you may have heard of it. Obviously, it's called Netflix. And that guy, Reed, went back to Blockbuster and said, hey, I've created this little company. Would you guys like to buy it? And Blockbuster laughed Reed out of the room, out of the boardroom. He got laughed out of the room from what I've read. And the interesting thing about that is that look who's laughing now, because he put new eyes on an industry, saw that there was an opportunity to innovate, change the business model. It's not like it's a new model by itself, but what he did is he mashed up two models to make a new application of it within an industry that had a very specific way of doing business. And so that's how new eyes can leverage a new business. And I'll give you one more quick one. Uber is another one. And with that said, the taxi cab industry has been run a certain way for a really long time. I mean, for as long as cars have been around pretty much, and even beyond that. But what's interesting is that, there were a need, and the need was, I need a car, and taxi cabs are not always the most convenient or the most cost effective in the configuration that they're in. So the founders of Uber said, hey, let's do this differently. And the result is that there's plenty of cars around and there are people looking to make extra money. And it made it so that there were more available cars to take people where they wanted to go. So just thinking about things differently, putting new eyes on a situation, and you have innovation, and you can pull a lot of that innovation from other industries like I talked about today. So stay tuned. I'll be back in about 7 or 8 minutes, and then we'll go to a next one. And with that next one, you definitely want to come back, because it's going to be how you can manufacture more time. So thanks for tuning in. I appreciate, I've heard back from several of you with support on these videos, and I'm glad you're getting value out of them. There'll be more to come, and stay tuned, because there'll be one more today. Thanks.